Well, good afternoon, guys. My name is Chris. I am the debt-free firefighter, and this is a turkey. So, obviously, I'm not sitting at my desk and I'm not talking about my budget. But what I wanted to do is come through and talk about some other sources of income that we have and other ways we have to save money. Now, obviously, these don't work for everybody. It works for my family, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about it. But this is a quick overview of my backyard and what we're doing as far as saving money, making money, etc., etc. We live obviously in the country, and we've got some pet turkeys. Now, these guys are actually breeding turkeys. So this is our female. She's friendly. And then that's our male. He's in a molt, so his feathers look a little bit rough. But these are breeding turkeys, not meat turkeys. And what we actually do is sell the eggs and sell the young. So the eggs will actually incubate for 28 days, and then they will hatch out little turkey poults, and we can sell those turkey poults and make about $20 a piece on those. And then fertilized eggs from turkeys actually sell fairly well. You don't eat them, you, once again, you sell them. So got some of my pet turkeys that generates an extra source of income for us. And then we'll come over this way, and the turkeys really are just kind of a thing we do. We homeschool our kids. It's a way that we just teach them a little bit about life and responsibility. These are some of our chickens. These are not meat chickens. These are egg layers. So there's 12 of them, big old rooster, and they free range in our yard. They eat bugs and ticks and grass, and then we also sell their eggs. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, actually has a little egg business. Keeps her on her toes and teaches her responsibility as well. And then obviously any extra eggs become ours. So we've got some turkeys. We've got some egg laying chickens, layer hens. Now they're just going wild. And then we've got these little minis. These are bantams. They're a smaller variety of chicken. They actually don't free range because they will get eaten. So no free ranging for them because the predator, the birds from above, will knock out these guys. But these guys also lay eggs, and we can sell them for people who want to hatch their own bantam chickens. So we try to keep ours on fresh grass. So they're actually in a chicken tractor, meaning, I'll show you. This thing is on wheels, and I move it around the yard. So about every 3 days, they're on completely fresh grass. You can do it more often. I don't do it any less often than that. But about once a week, we clean the inside of this thing out and add more bedding in, and they lay in here. The big chickens, let's kind of talk about them for a second. Kind of the same thing. There's a big chicken tractor on wheels. And then this run itself, actually, we can keep them enclosed if we want to. But this lifts up. Same thing, change the bedding out. And the bedding is actually part of our plan as well. So then we take that bedding and we bring it over, all the way over here to our compost. So this is our garden. This is my youngest daughter's garden. This year we've done a little bit of rework to it, and I want to talk about it. All of this really started, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, about the time of COVID. Not because we had nothing to do, but we just wanted to be a little bit more self-sufficient, have a little bit more control over our food and our money, and where things come from. So we put in the garden. we've put in some trees. So I want to give you a little bit of a tour and talk about what we're doing in 2026 to make more money. So we make money by selling baby turkeys and fertilized eggs. We make money by selling fertilized bantam eggs. You can eat the eggs. They taste just like a chicken egg, but people actually want to buy the bantam eggs because they want a smaller coop and they want smaller chickens. And my daughter has her own business. She makes money selling the big chicken eggs, the standards. My other daughter, Brielle, raises food, and she sells food. So we are getting the garden in. I think everything will be planted in the next 2 weeks. But we're actually redoing some beds this year because last year we had kind of a rough patch with weeds. But anyway, everything from the chicken coop comes into a compost. I've got a couple composts, and it actually is a 2-year compost, so it sits for 2 years. This one is about a year old, and we'll turn it and we'll let it make good soil. What's up, chickens? What's up, chickens? I know this video is not for everybody, but I'm still going to show you. So the posts actually will have deer netting wrapped around them to keep the garden enclosed. And I have to do it for 2 reasons. Number one, the chickens, they will destroy the garden because they want to eat it. And number two, from those woods comes deer. So the goal this year is much planting. We do plant some things in the ground, depends on the year. And this year we're actually doing a little bit different plan. My beds, I actually just laid down new weed barrier, and I'm cutting out the bottoms so that we can grow deep into the earth, get worms in there. So this is going to be corn. This will be tomatoes and basil. Typically with each vegetable, we kind of cross plant something else to go with it. So it'll be corn and some beans in there. I'm sorry, that's not true. Corn and squash will be in there, and tomatoes and basil. This will be flowers, and this will be flowers. My youngest loves flowers, so her goal this year is to make money by selling cut flowers. And then we've got a trellis. And on this side of the trellis will be climbing cucumbers, and then this side of the trellis will be sugar snap peas. And so it vines up, and you can hang out and read in here. And then I think the plan over here is we still need to add fresh dirt. Obviously, every year I actually put fresh dirt on top of these things. But I hear you. So anyway, sorry, back to this. So a few more vegetables in this bed, a few more vegetables in this bed. And then over here, this section is actually going to be, we're taking out all the grass, and probably by the end of this week, we will have sunflower seeds in here, and then we'll do pumpkins. So this will kind of be the fall garden. But the whole idea is this whole thing, you walk in this way, there's a gate, there's deer fencing, there's mulch, and then you'll come this way. And this is just for my youngest daughter, just to live her live her fun life. So this will be her old sandbox. She wants it to be a fairy garden, so we'll plant flowers in there, and then you'll walk through the playhouse, which is her potting shed, and then back here will just be sunflowers and then pumpkins, and then there will be a wire fence back here with morning glories. And then outside of the fence this year, I believe in this area, we are putting in some watermelon and cantaloupe, and then we will cover them with net because, once again, the chickens will just completely take care of that. So the garden itself this year, I've spent maybe $150 on it. And that's really just because these posts this year, we just planted some more permanent posts. Everything else we've had. And like I said, the compost we make. So for $150, all said and done, we'll probably get maybe $600 or $700 of veggies out of here. And then my youngest will sell some cut flowers and give out cut flowers. So we'll spend about $50 in seed, and she'll probably make about $200. And the goal is not to make her rich. The goal is to teach her how to be wise with her money. So we've got that going on in my backyard. We also have a water catchment system coming off of our feed shed. So I have a few sheds, but this one actually holds all of our chicken feed. We keep it separate from the other sheds in case there's rodent pressure. It doesn't get in any of our other sheds. So water comes off, I catch it, water the garden with this. I have a battery operated pump. Then I'll run a hose and add sprinklers and completely water the garden every day in about 5 minutes from rainwater. Zero cost, right? Once the investment happened a couple years ago, zero cost. Nothing from my house comes out here, just zero cost. We also have a food forest we've been working on for the last several years. So this year, the big plan is this section right here will be blueberries. Lots of blueberries. So just all up through here, blueberries. And we've got raspberries growing. Need to do some training of these. Raspberries. An apple. We've done kind of a 5 or 6 year plan where we planted 1 or 2 apple trees, and they're in different stages. So there's another apple tree, some cross-pollinate with others, another apple tree. So the largest one is there that should have apples this year. So the goal is that when they hit a certain age, they are not all dying off at once type of thing. So working through having our own fruit. Don't have to go to the grocery store for that. And this past year, we just started planting peach trees. So we've got 1 peach tree in, and then we'll get another one. Oh, the missing egg from the Easter egg hunt. All right. We'll get another peach tree, I think, planted right about here. So the idea is that when you walk out of our house, you have a garden and a food forest where you can grocery shop in your own backyard. So we'll have some lettuce, and then this area right in here between everything, between the garden, the watermelon patch, will be a greenhouse as we save up for it. And then on the other side of the greenhouse, these are elderberry bushes. I've got my own firewood that came from the woods behind my house. I have piles everywhere. I'm drying out and harvesting this year. So I know it's not my normal post. I completely get that. But what I want to do is just talk about life, right? Talk about how to make money, how to save money, how to teach your kids, and how to live. I don't have enough time to live off the land, so to speak. But I do have enough time to save money this year by not having to buy a tomato in the grocery store, or having to buy lettuce, or having to buy, hopefully apples. So debt-free firefighter, trying to be debt-free by 2033. That's my journey. I'll have another video, another video coming out in 2 days, 3 days, that will discuss my April budget. Excuse me. It looks a lot different than my March and January and February budget because we had a few changes come up. So I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and following. If this video is not your thing, I get it. Maybe once every now and then we'll do something like this. Have a good day.